Welcome to the darkest year of the adventure so far. So, here are my first viewing thoughts on Stranger Things 4 based on the first three episodes. Just finished up The Monster Superhero, and as someone who's been waiting at least a couple of years now to see this, I definitely am looking forward to the remainder of the show, including the finale in season 5. So, let's get started. The This season takes place several months after the events of the last one, even longer. Outer universe, meaning it's now the spring 1986. Top Gun will later go on to be the highest grossing film of that year. Here, the Legend of Zelda and Metroid would help continue Nintendo's dominance and restoration of the video game industry at that time. Number of songs that month were indeed ones that were played in these ones I've seen. In Mr.'s Kyrie, Starship's Sarah and Hertz These Dreams, as the cast is growing up both back in Hawkins as well as a small town in California. Uh, the threats being faced before are ever increasing, least of all a creature known in around the world as the Vecna, which looks to be potentially the biggest threat that I've seen so far. Yes, I'm factoring in both the Demigorgon and the Mind Flayer as well. I mean, yes. So, I decided to get the ball rolling on this part right away because there's no way people dodge spoilers for until July. In which case, I'm definitely still going to be keeping this for the most part pretty spoiler free. Especially I also recommend, and you definitely should be caught up with the series by now. Also, it's a good show, and I definitely am. They're making good in their claim that this is going to be a darker, more mature story. Not just in terms of like the monsters, hers, and other threats being faced, but also in terms of character arcs, like how it's basically what I expected. I always kind of like that whole idea of using age as a metaphor for increasing threats. I mentioned before, and especially as prevalent in this one, that based on how Elle is changing, that this show makes a better adaptation of the Phoenix Saga of X-Men than either The Last Stand or Dark Phoenix. But given some of the horror elements I'm seeing, it already looks like a better Resident Evil adaptation than the actual one Netflix is working on for later this year. Really not looking forward to that, if I'm being totally honest. Yeah. And also, I am definitely noticing the acting is also quite strong across the board. I'm definitely liking how naturally the main cast is growing from being in smaller middle school kids in the first couple seasons to high schoolers and basically on screen as well as young men and women off screen, or any other, or else they might choose to identify as. I'm not gonna be that kind of guy. And production values are quite impressive. Like, I don't mind the episodes of feature length, given how they're being prepped. It's like being prepped for the series finale, which is going to be that on that runtime as well. And it has a per episode budget of $30 million, and you definitely see every bit of that money on the screen. I know I say this a lot lately, but I really mean it in this case, where, much like in the previous season, the period setting is user rate of fit, where you are definitely dealing with a part of the world no longer exists, and a bunch of threats from parallel universe that never existed at all. And definitely liking even, and not just someone like the elements like how, so like the roller rinks and like the Zaxxon cabinets, and like the family video store, which definitely kind of interesting in parallel. Yeah. So, whatever they end up doing after this series ends not just in terms of the cast, but also the platform it's streaming on. I definitely hope they can keep experimenting, and even with the company being kind of something of a panic mode as I record this, I still think that they have things they know they're good at, and they should definitely keep working on that. I mean, even with having to cede some of their catalog to other platforms, they are definitely good at forming partnerships with other companies, as well as not only come up with experimenting with different material, even if the experiment works. I mean, looking at you, who there, here, Death Note 2017, and I definitely hope they can keep up this kind of experimentation, and like how they manage to, even whether it's buying existing main series, introducing new audience, or coming with their own. I very much welcome it. So I suppose I will see you with part 2 of the season in July. I've got a couple more videos working on for the end of this month. The main, just wait and see what they are. So take care, everyone.